Good evening and welcome out to tonight's tackle trading onboarding webinar. This is Coach Frank here to take you through the tackle trading website, show you around a little bit, let you know where things are, when they are, so hopefully you can get to know us a little bit better. Before we dive on into business, just would like to highlight next Monday, that would be April 11th, right here on this YouTube channel at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Coach Matt Justice will be doing a webinar on the art of the reversal patterns. Going to be a fantastic deep dive into the technical side of those bottoming and reversal patterns, which can be certainly so powerful for us as traders. So definitely would hit the bookmark button. Keep in mind, it can be a lot of fun, very informative. I have no doubt about that. So once again, that is Monday, April 11th at 8:20 p.m. Eastern, right here on this YouTube channel. When I break tackle trading down, I break it into three components: the things that you do on your own, that's going to be courses and blogs, and some of the tools that we have available, like our playbook and our trade journals, and then things you do with others, basically the schedule, right? And then lastly, our weekend reports where we can share some ideas with members of our community. So we'll kind of break it down into those three parts here this evening as well. But in a nutshell, I mean, really what tackle trading is, at least to me, is a group of traders that have come together, help each other out, share ideas, share what's working, what's not, answering each other's questions, helping each other stay on top of the markets. You know, trading, we all have to make our own trading decisions for sure, but we don't have to trade alone, right? Trading can sometimes feel lonely, but it certainly does not need to feel that way here at Tackle Trading. It does not feel that way at all. So that is really what tackle trading is to me. But let's take a little deeper dive, right? And let's kind of start with the things that you can do on your own. We'll start off with the courses here. That's the first thing that, comes to my mind, at least. We do offer a range of courses to all of our pro members. Our 7-step guide to trading is kind of an introduction into trading, as well as an introduction into the tackle trading approach to the markets. No two traders are exactly the same, but I do think those of us here at Tackle Trading kind of share some core beliefs. We believe in taking a top-down approach to the markets and having a bias and having that help determine, what strategies we're going to use to trade and, that type of stuff. And so the 7-step guide to trading should be really helpful in getting you, up to speed kind of on the tackle trading approach to the market. And if you're relatively new to the market, it should be really helpful in creating a daily routine, and help you build a daily routine. Even if you're a veteran, you might get a couple of tidbits in there. I'd imagine if you're a veteran trader, though, you've probably got a daily routine down, but you never know. Just one little idea can go a very long way. So that is the 7-step guide to trading. Of course, as traders, we're going to be doing an awful lot of technical analysis, right? And that's going to be true, regardless of what kind of traders we are. You might be a day trader, a swing trader, a crypto trader, a cash flow trader, whatever kind of trader you are, you're going to be using technical analysis. So the more we understand those charts, certainly the better. So we'll be talking trend and support and resistance and momentum and all of that fun stuff that is so important to our charting. Over in the Options 101 course, we're going to talk a lot about what's going on when you buy or sell that call or that put contract. What are the factors that are making it move the way it does? How's liquidity work? All of that good stuff. The more we understand the contract, I believe the easier any strategy is going to be. So we're not going to talk a ton of strategies in that options course. I'll show you where you can find those strategies here in a few, but really focus on the contract itself. If you've ever been interested in learning more about the futures of the Forex market, we do have introduction courses into those markets as well. Now, I know not everybody wants to trade futures and or Forex, and that's fine with me if you don't, but I don't want you to feel like you can't trade futures or you can't trade Forex. There's certain things we need to understand about those highly leveraged markets for sure, but I think anyone can trade them if that's the product that they want to be trading. These courses can get you a jump start into that if either of those markets are interesting to you. You'll also find our system development course. This is a fantastic course that I cannot recommend enough, regardless of really, who you are, how long you've been trading, what kind of things you like to trade. All of us know the importance of having, clear rules and systems in place, but it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to do it. And the system development course is really designed to help you train yourself to come at your trading from a systematic perspective. It really is a great course. I cannot recommend it enough, and I would definitely take some time to check that one out. You'll also notice we have a handful of premium products. What these are is they're fully fleshed out systems. They are standalone products. It's a one-time purchase. The system is yours for life. Once a month, we get together with members of those teams in a mastermind group. Tackle 25, we're not going to go too crazy here, but just so you know what they are, the Tackle 25 is a covered call-based system on a select group of stocks that we put together each year with the intent of cash flowing via covered calls. Step system is our approach to swing trading the market, just stop loss, target, entry, and position size. First step there. Cash flow Condors, another cash flow system, this time selling credit spreads on the Russell 2000, and the bear market survival guide, kind of protecting ourselves from bearish turns in the market and then dealing with those, particularly in our longer term, portfolios when they occur. If you would like any more information on any of those, you can find it over in the store tab, or of course, feel free to send us an email to team@tackletrading.com and be happy to get you a little bit more information. Beyond the courses, we do regular blog content, both in written and in video format, whether it's more charting and tales of a technician, more options and option theory, kind of taking concepts, kind of from the ground up with the rookie corner, hearing from our awesome female traders in the Women in Trading blog. These are going to be relatively, short reads or short videos, but just another way that we can reach out, share ideas with members of our team, answer questions that our team might be having. A really good addition to your weekly or monthly routine, that is for sure. Over in the Trade Center, you'll find a link to our clubhouse, a link to our trading glossary, link to our trading journals. We'll talk a little bit more about them here momentarily, as well as a link to the Tackle Trading Playbook. Here in the Tackle Trading Playbook is where you're going to find all of our strategies and the rules for those strategies. We break our strategy selection into 3 areas based off of the option Greeks: Delta, Theta, and Vega. So the Delta is our directional playbook, right? I think the stock's going from 100 to 110, from 20 to 15, from point A to point B, right? So that would, of course, include buying or selling stock, but that would also include, buying options, doing debit spreads, doing diagonal spreads, basically movement-based strategies. Then you're going to have the Theta Playbook. This is the cash flow playbook, right, where we're selling those options and bringing that premium up front. That's going to be those covered calls and those naked puts and those credit spreads. And then lastly, the Vega or the volatility playbook, where we're not too far away, 2 weeks away, we're going to be starting to get into an awful lot of earnings. That's always what I think about, volatility plays personally, where company XYZ has a history of making big moves on its earnings, just sometimes up, sometimes down, and there's no conceivable way that I can know what it's going to be this time, right? But I can play the history and say, well, I don't really know which way it's going to move, but based off of what it usually does, I think it's going to move a lot one way or the other, and I'll build a trade that reflects that, such as a long straddle or a long strangle. So that's going to be kind of the way that this is broken down. In each of these, you'll find a detailed video, what the strategy is, why we choose the strategy, our rules for the strategy, kind of the whole 9 yards, in a detailed video, as well as a little downloadable cheat sheet so you have easy access to the rules for whichever strategy it is that you're looking for. You'll also notice that on all of them, there's something between a 0 and a plus or a -3. We always want to match the strategy to our read of the situation, right? And so this is just kind of where we see these strategies, along the line. If you kind of think about 0 as, flat neutral, plus or -1 would be slightly bullish or slightly bearish. 2 or -2 would be bullish or bearish. And then 3 or -3 would be very bullish or very bearish, right? We'd always want to match the strategy to our read of the situation, at least I believe so. So that's kind of letting you know kind of where we see the strategies along that spectrum. If you go directly into the Trade Center, this is going to bring you to a What's Up at Tackle Trading page. In here, you'll find a handful of tools we'll talk about in a second. Our most recent posts, our next show, our most recent tweet. There is a little watch list that you can build for yourself out directly in Tackle Trading if you'd like to as well. You just add your symbol. So you wanted to add Apple to your watch list. I'm just going to look at Apple's chart there. I'm going to hit this little plus button when and they are, I'm going to select that. There we go. And I'm going to hit this plus button. And now Apple will be added to my watch list so I can quickly, I would imagine most of us are having our primary watch list built, through our trading platform, which is, perfectly normal, I think. But it's kind of nice to be able to just have a real easy to, quickly, I don't have to log into anything, secure anything. I can just kind of look and see if anything's standing out, want to try to prep a trade on. You don't have to use that, but of course, it is a handy little tool. There will be a replay of one of our YouTube shows, where you are in any of the courses that you're taking, a little mini upcoming events calendar. You'll find the more detailed events calendar. We'll look at it here in a little bit up here as well. You're also going to find a variety of different trader tools in here. You'll find a link to tradingjustice.com each week. Tradingjustice.com. Coach Matt, Coach Mark, and Coach Tim bring forth the Trading Justice podcast, a really informative and fun financial podcast. You can listen to it directly over at tradingjustice.com, or you can find it on your favorite podcast providers. But it's definitely a great addition to your weekly routine. They also do a very nice monthly newsletter over at Trading Justice. That's always a really good read as well. So definitely worth checking out our friends over at tradingjustice.com. This will take you directly there. Of course, it's just tradingjustice.com. You'll also find a variety of trader tools in here. You'll find the market skyline. This is just where we're going to kind of have all of the big stuff in one place, right? Coming back to that top-down analysis that's so important to us, the different indexes, the S&P futures, Dow, NASDAQ, Russell, Bitcoin, the VIX, the emerging markets, the all-world ETF, the major commodities, gold, silver, copper, crude, etc., and the sector spider ETFs. So we can see, in particular sectors stand out today. Well, it's definitely a growth day, right? Technology, big mover. Communications, a big mover. Discretionary, a big mover. Maybe that can help generate some trading ideas. These are all, in my opinion, very important parts of a daily routine. It does not have to be on this page, but I do think it should be something that we're all doing on a daily basis. Personally, you'll also find a link to the FinViz heat maps right here. This will just bring you to finviz.com for the heat map for the S&P 500 for today. Just a little different approach, right? Just a different visual. What did the market look like today? Well, here's those areas that we looked at, right? Technology, communications, and discretionary, really in the green, right? A little bit of mixed bag over in the financial, a lot of, red over in healthcare and defensive and industrials. I wouldn't want to make a trade just using a heat map, but it can help generate some ideas, I believe. And while this default is set to a one-day performance, you can look at weekly, monthly, quarterly, etc. Fundamental ratios, pretty handy little tool over at finviz.com. That link will just take you directly to that heat map page. You'll find a news aggregator. This is just going to go through some of the bigger financial websites, Wall Street Journal, CNBC. I imagine if we scroll a little bit more, we'll run into the Times and Market Watch. Just going to kind of go through, get the headlines in one easy to kind of scroll through page, right? And I can kind of just see what I actually want to read, right? If this is an interesting story, great. If it's not, I don't want to read it, right? And I know that's completely subjective, right? But this is really just designed to save some bouncing around and some clicks and all of that stuff, save you a little bit of time. There's a link to an economic calendar to make sure you know what's coming up today or this week on the economic front that could impact your trading. Another link to our market reports, which you'll also find up here. Link to the compounding gains calculator, a chart if you ever need one, glossary, search function. The search function is also right up here, and it is a pretty smart search tool. So if you're ever looking for more information on, say, a particular strategy or something, odds are it's very easy to find. You'll also find another link to our trade journals. As we noted earlier, on the drop down of the Trade Center, you can catch the trade journals. If you come into it like we're here directly in the Trade Center, this is the way I always like to do it, because it takes you directly to the page that has the tutorial on it. If you need some help with that, there's no shame in that. A lot of us did. Some people pick up on spreadsheets super fast. Some of us not so much. So there is, the tutorial in here. We have 3 different trade journals. We have the trade journal, which is, what did I do? When did I do it? How much of it did I do? Right. And it's going to kind of track the rest for me. What was my gain loss? How long was I in the trade? How long on average am I in trade? What does my average winning trade make me? What does my average losing trade cost me? The bottom line, the most important thing, right? So just very, very important to journal your trades. Every single trade that we make is data if we allow it to be, right? We just have to have good notes. And that's exactly what the trade journal allows us to do. You'll find the Theta research tool. This is going to allow you to build and compare different cash flow strategies. So say you want to do a bull put spread today, but you got 4 stocks that you're looking at. You just want to do one. You're not going to put all 4 trades on going into tomorrow. It's just not what you want to do, but you only want to make one. Well, I think we want to compare them fairly, right? Which one is, quote unquote, the best, right? Which one's giving us the most? And the Theta research tools are designed to help you figure that out. It really is a fantastic tool for our cash flow strategies. And then our portfolio journal, just to kind of make sure we're staying completely organized, right? Some people have a lot of trades going on, at one point in time. Some people don't, right? But it's important for all of us to stay organized, and the portfolio journal will allow you to do that. If you come into it like we just did here directly through the Trade Center, just select the one that you want and you can download it directly from this page. So that is the Trade Center. And that's going to kind of wrap up that first phase of things that you can do on your own. Now let's kind of talk a little bit about the schedule. Let's start, with the average market morning, right? Every market morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, we get together with the team here at Tackle Trading in our Traders Lounge for an hour. It's just a place where every member of our community can come in, get some ideas, get some help, ask questions, share what's going on, all that fun stuff, right? It's important that we have a place to do that. We all have questions sometimes, and sometimes, it's a show is a lot easier than telling, right? So, hey, I'm struggling with this strategy. Could we walk through it from the beginning to the end? Hey, you know what? I can't figure out how to add this to toss. Could you show me how? Right? I really have a hard time, identifying bull flags. Could we go through some of that? Right? When do I roll my covered calls? So many things, right? And the lounge allows us to talk about those things that are important to our team each and every day. That is every market morning at 11 a.m. Eastern for the Traders Lounge. You're always welcome and invited in there. Always happy to see our team in there. And if you ever need anything, it's a great place to go to get some help. You also find some really good trade ideas. A lot of times I'm just lurking, listening in and doing something else. And, someone will bring up a chart and I'll go like, yeah, thank you very much. I'll add that to my watch list. So it's a lot of fun. Shortly after the Traders Lounge, we're going to head over to our YouTube channel at 12:30 p.m. Eastern for the Tackle Trading Halftime Report, live looking at the market, go through that daily routine, taking that top-down approach, right? What's going on in the market today? How is it impacting our indexes, the commodities, sectors, stocks in the news, the whole 9 yards? It's important to stay up on the story. I think about the market as a story or a gigantic soap opera. And, it's like any good story or soap opera. If once you're caught up, it's pretty easy to stay caught up if you just keep doing it, right? But if you miss a while, it kind of feels like you're back to square one. At least to me, it does. So we'll be live on YouTube, 12:30 p.m. Eastern every market day for the Tackle Trading Halftime Report. So during the, every day, be it in the lounge here at Tackle Trading or the Halftime Report over on our YouTube channel, we will be with the team while the market's moving and shaking. We also have our evening schedule. Evening schedule kind of allows us to spend more time on these concepts, right? Take deeper dives. There's so much that we can talk about in trading. And the evening shows allow us to do that. Starting with the coaches show every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We do the coaches show. A couple of the coaches will get together and we'll just talk trading with our traders, right? And that's, a little open-ended. Sure, I will always try to keep it topical, but there's so many things we could talk about, right? We could talk about when to choose a bull call versus a bull put. We could talk about how we trade cup and handles. We can talk about, using moving averages or stochastic or, different indicators. We can talk about portfolio design or trading through earnings. I mean, so many things that we can talk about. Coaches show, what I love about it is allow us to isolate down to just one of those things and have a really in-depth conversation on that. It's a lot of fun. Tuesday nights at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. It is recorded and archived. So if you can't make it live, or if you need to rewatch it, or if you want to watch a previous episode on a subject that you find interesting, really easy to do. You'll find the archives directly in that Coaches Show link. On Thursday nights, Also at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we do the Cash Flow Club. It's a little more narrowly focused, as the name probably gives away. Really going to just be focused on building and managing those cash flow plays, right? So covered calls, credit spreads, condors, naked puts, right? All about those cash flow trades, both building and managing those trades, which is always, building, is building, right? Once we know how to do it, we kind of know how to do it, but got to learn how to manage them as well. We'll be talking cash flow trades every Thursday night in that Cash Flow Club. Just like the Coaches Show, it is recorded and archived. So if you need to rewatch it, or if you miss it, or if you want to go back and watch last week's, very easy to do. That is Thursday night. On Wednesday nights, we do kind of a twofer here. Right here on our YouTube channel at 7 Eastern, we do our Trade Masters webinar. A couple of the coaches and members of our team will get together with some trade ideas, bounce them off one another, and members of our team in the chat. We'll have a Delta round, a Theta round, and a wild card round, and our team will vote. Whose trade idea did they like the best, right? And at the end of it, somebody is declared the trade master. What it's really for is to share some trade ideas. By the time we get into Wednesday night, we've made it through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? We might not, but we might need to add a few new things to our watch list, right? And there's never a bad way, in my opinion, to find a potential trading idea. It's a lot of fun, and I hope you'll find some trade ideas. I'm sure that you will. That's right here on our YouTube channel at 7 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday nights. And then shortly after that, we're going to head back over here to Tackle Trading for our Wednesday night Traders Lounge at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be very, very similar to our daily Traders Lounge that we do in the mornings, with the exception of we're just coming out of the Trade Masters webinar. So, if you have something you want to talk a little bit more about, go a little more detail, or, compare a couple different strategies or whatever the case might be, we're certainly happy to do that as well. But, some people are at work at 11 a.m. Eastern, during the market hours, right? And don't have an opportunity to join us for that morning lounge. If that's you, your questions are just as important to us as anybody's, right? We need to have a place where we can make sure that you can get, and hopefully that Wednesday night lounge will allow you to do so. We have typically on Monday nights got a few different things that are typically happening here at Tackle Trading. We'll do our onboarding webinar. No two are tremendously different from one another. If you're, if you're new, or if you're just coming back, or if you want to check us out, you're always welcome to catch the onboarding webinar. But do keep in mind, no two are too different from one another. That's really just to kind of show folks around Tackle Trading. We typically meet up with members of these different teams, the Tackle 25, Step System, Condors, Bear Market Survival, on Monday nights as well. We invite all of our pro members to join in those webinars. So you do not have to have the Tackle 25 system to join the Tackle 25 mastermind group. You're certainly more than welcome to come in, just listen and learn, check them out, see if it's something you're interested in. But we do invite all of our pro members to join us. And those are typically on Monday nights. About every other Monday night, we also host a special webinar here on our YouTube channel. Last week, Coach Ty was doing condors. Next week, Coach Matt's going to be doing reversals. Again, it's not necessarily specifically every other week, but it does work out to be about that. So about every other Monday. So different things going on Monday nights, but always going to be, taking an opportunity to do some teaching and sharing ideas with members of our team. About once a month, Coach Emily and the awesome ladies of Tackle Trading will get together in their Women in Trading Mastermind group. We'll keep you posted of when that's happening. I can't tell you exactly what they do, but I do, I know them. I know the team. I know they're, working hard and having a good time along the way. So if you're a woman in trading, or if you know a woman in trading, I would certainly encourage you to, keep on the lookout for that Women in Trading Mastermind group. I have no doubt you'll get a lot out of it. You meet some great traders, some great people, and have probably a lot of fun along the way. That's going to kind of wrap up the schedule. As you're getting to know us, the events calendars, you can kind of see we'll have all of what's going on today. How do I get into it? All of that fun stuff. An overly simplified way to think about it is, the lounge every morning is really for our team. What do they need? What do you need? What do you want to talk about? right? And we'll talk about that, right? The halftime report is really for the daily routine and staying on top of the market. And then the evening shows are really kind of where we can put on that teaching hat, if you will. We do also offer a separate product that we call Trading Labs. These are subscription products that are a little more personalized groups with Cashflow Vikings and Coach Mark, Dynasty Investors and Coach Emily, Coach Greg over in the Fundamental Society, and Coach Tyler over in Team Phoenix. There's get together every week. They have a private Discord channel where they can kind of keep connected with each other. If you would like some more information on those trading labs, great feedback, feel free to send us an email, team at Tackle Trading, hit the store tab. We do have a trial for that. If you want to go in, check them out, see if it's something that's interesting. Absolutely happy to help you on that front as well. So that's going to kind of wrap up the scheduling side of things. Now let's talk about the weekend reports. At the end of the trading week, we're always getting together as coaches. And we're talking markets, talking sectors, commodities, setups that we found that are eyeballing going into next week, and what we call our scouting report meeting. And out of that scouting report meeting comes our tackle newsletter, stock, option, and commodity reports that we get delivered to our team by Saturday afternoon each week. The tackle newsletter is kind of a look ahead to the next week in the market, right? And so we'll talk about the week that was a little bit, what happened last week, what was moving the markets, what was the storylines moving it, all of that fun stuff. Talk a little sectors, all of that jazz. Take a look at the upcoming economic calendar, so we're aware of any events that can impact our trading, like say the Fed minutes, coming out on Wednesday, right? That may or may not, but it certainly can. Of course, we'll have a video detailing this stuff with you for you in here. Where is the market, right? Where we're at in the S&P, the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, the Russell, right? How do the internals of the market look? All right, we're going to look at over 8,000 stocks to kind of see, is everything bullish? Is everything bearish? Is it very mixed, right? Kind of take a closer look under the hood, if you will, on the internals of the market. We're also going to rank the sectors each week based off what we're seeing on the stocks within those sectors. We break our sectors into three core areas. You're going to have the growth-based sectors that we saw all the movement today, right? Technology, discretionary, and communications. We're going to have the cyclical-based sectors in gold here, financials, industrials, basic materials, and energy. Then we're going to have the defensive sectors here in purple, healthcare, staples, real estate, and utilities. These are kind of built off of the sector spider ETFs. If you're not familiar with them, just really quickly, it's helpful to know what they are because they're part of our discussions here. The sector spiders are ETFs. You can find all the information about them that you need directly at the ETF provider's website, which is just the word sector, spdr.com. That is the ETF provider. That will can really take a deeper dive into exactly what's going on with these ETFs. But basically what they do is they'll go into the S&P 500 and pull out just stocks in, say, the financial sector. So XLF here is the financial sector ETF. So we went into the S&P 500, pulled out just those financial stocks and only the financial stocks, put them into a portfolio, weighted accordingly because this is built off the S&P 500. So they are weighted as well. But it's helping us get a much more isolated look at the financial sector versus, say, the technology sector versus, say, the energy sector, right? These are ETFs, being such that they're tradable. We can buy shares. They're also optionable. We can trade option strategies on them if that's the way that we want to go. We're not ranking our sectors specifically based off of what XLE looks like, right? That is a part of the consideration, but we're looking at all of the stocks that comprise these different ETFs as we're coming up with our ratings each week. We'll be moving them up and down the scoreboard here, the football field, as you can kind of see based off of what we're seeing on the stocks that make up these areas. What areas are we upgrading, downgrading, maintaining? We'll talk you through why we're doing those things in the video portion of the newsletter. But this is a big part of what we are doing every week here at Tackle Trading. So it is important to understand, as you can kind of see, it's on a football field. Between the 40s is, into, more neutral territory, maybe with a little bit of a skew one way or the other. Between the 40 and the 20, slightly bullish or slightly bearish. And then between the 20 and the goal line, bullish or bearish. We are not a particularly aggressive bunch. It is extremely rare that we're going to put an entire sector or something like that into plus or minus 3 territory. That's just not really who we are. Personally, I've never done it, and I can't imagine I ever will. I mean, you never say never, I suppose, but it's extremely, extremely unlikely and will be very rare in the event that we do put an entire sector that aggressive one way or the other. It's like, football. If you're a football fan, once you get into the 20, it gets a little bit tougher, right? And so, but we'll talk you through kind of our thought process and all of that fun stuff every week in the video portion of this. We'll be talking about this also throughout the week in our other content as well. Of course, the Sector Spider ETFs, symbols here if you ever need them. At the end of our meeting, we share our favorite trade setups that we, put together in our reports, both our favorite bulls and favorite bears, just as a fun way to end the meeting, share what we thought was interesting or most interesting going to the upcoming week. We do have a tremendous team tackle Discord going on. If you're a pro member, I certainly encourage you and invite you to come over and join us over there. It's a lot of fun, a great communication tool to be able to connect with other traders. You can join the Discord channel in here. If you have any problems with it, don't hesitate to send us an email at team@tackle trading. We'll get you set up, but hope to see you over there. It's a lot of fun. And it's really, really cool to be able to easily talk with other traders any really time that we want to do just that. It's a friendly reminder to match the strategy to the situation, right? You'll also find a pre-built scanner in here. If a particular area has caught your attention, if you said, I like that movement in comms today, maybe they're showing, would like to, take a quick look at some stocks in that space, find that sector. This is just going to bring us back to finviz.com. This is going to be a list of what I refer to as trader-friendly stocks. And when I say that, I simply mean they've got great liquidity, super easy to trade shares. They're borrowable. So if I'm going short, not a problem at all. Every one of them is optionable. Now, just because a stock has options does not mean those options are particularly liquid and those spreads are particularly tight. We are going to need to double check that. If you don't know how to do that, you'll learn about that in that Options 101 course, by the way. I would say as a whole, they're pretty option friendly, but I would also say that in every one of these sector scans, there's some stocks that personally I would not choose to trade options on under any circumstances. Maybe that's just me. I imagine you probably feel the same way. Liquidity is really important, right? And so never going to be an issue on the stock. I would say generally it's not on the option, but it's always good practice to go double check that liquidity and that spread, make sure you're comfortable with that. But be it through shares or options, if I find something in here I want to trade, I'm going to be able to build a trade on it one way or the other. As you can kind of see here, just a bird's eye view of some charts, right? Kind of see if anything is jumping out. We saw T-Mobile break, late last week and follow through this week. Maybe you like that. Maybe you don't, right? Maybe you like this little week long of consolidation that we're seeing on Airbnb here. Now, would I even dream of trying to make a trade off of this tiny little thing? Oh, I can't even imagine trying to do that. But I can't say, what? That looks like there's maybe a little high base going on with a little bit of room, on Airbnb. Maybe I'll actually go look at them in my actual trading platform, see if it looks as good close up as it maybe does as a distance, right? Maybe you like the breakout here at this horizontal resistance level on the New York Times, right? Maybe you don't like any of these. That's fine, right? It's okay if you don't. But just an easy way to quickly look at a lot of stocks in a particular area that for one reason or another has caught your attention. Really handy little tool. And of course, we have that built out for all of the different sectors. Just a quick world watch. Where's the all world, excluding the US ETF, the global markets emerging ETF, as well as the dollar index, and then just some final thoughts going into the upcoming week. So that is going to be the newsletter. I always say you start there. Then we're going to have the commodities report. Coach Mark brings the commodity report. He does a great job keeping our team up to date on what's going on in the world of commodities, technically, fundamentally, thematically. Even if you're not trading commodities, most people, kind of think commodities, they think about futures, right? Which is certainly true, at least in part. right? Trading gold contracts or oil contracts or what have you. There's still a lot of things that we can do through the equities and options market to take advantage of trends or, sideways periods of time on those commodities. Coach Mark does a great job highlighting those things as well each week in his commodities report. Our stock and option report are built fairly similar to one another. And from a technical point of view, each week we want to make sure our team has some quality technical setups, whether they're primarily trading stock or primarily trading options or trading both, or we're open to both ways. We're going to make sure we have some swing trading candidates, both some potential bullish swing trades and some potential bearish swing trades. So, for example, Apple had that pullback, Spot's got this reversal going on, right? Hood's got this snapback to that old resistance level. We always want to make sure our team has some ideas. It's going to be the same from that point of view. The stock and option report, they're built technically first, right? Where they're going to differ, right? In the options report, we're going to talk a lot more about strategy selection. Why would I, sell a put here instead of buy a call, for example? Why this might be an opportunity to go, with a diagonal spread or whatever the case might be. We're having more of those conversations in the video portion of the report. The stock report, we're going to talk a little bit more about processes, right? Because we're looking at them from an equity point of view. So, confirmation, entries, stop losses, all of that fun stuff. I would say overall, if something's in the options report, every coach at Tackle Trading was on board and comfortable trading those options. If any one of us wasn't, it wouldn't be in the option report. And quite honestly, if any one of us wasn't, probably all of us wouldn't be. So in the stock report, sometimes they are going to be perfectly reasonable to trade with options if you prefer to do so, but sometimes that's going to be the reason it's in the stock report. Plenty of liquidity on the shares, very easy to trade the shares, but for one reason or another, the option liquidity is just not there. And if you've ever been stuck in an illiquid option, you don't need to tell me you don't want to be stuck in another one, right? And so, it's okay to trade shares, especially for us here in the States. Now, so many of us have $0 commissions on stocks and ETFs. We don't have to, have those problems of that, we had for a long time. Really hard to take a small stock trade because you got gobbled up by commissions. For many of us, at least, that's no longer an issue. But we want to make sure that you have some trade ideas. These are swing trade ideas. Talk through some of them in the video portion of the report. There's also, as you can kind of see, we've got the trading view charts built in here. You can hide your watch list just by smacking the widget button here and just get a little bit more chart. Smack it again, it'll come back. You can, maneuver your chart, scroll up or down on your mouse wheel, hold your left mouse button down, go back and forth, hold your left mouse button down over in the dollars and go up or down, right? So you can kind of get it sized the way that you want to do so. Your trend line tool is going to be right in here where you can, draw your trend line, whether it's an actual trend line or, to represent, horizontal support or resistance. If you don't need it, just select the line, hit the trash button up top here. See if I can actually do that. There we go. Hit that trash button, hit this one as well. The default is set to candlesticks for the daily chart, but you can, if you prefer bar charts, you can easily switch over there. You can change your time frame, to take a closer look on the intraday or take a longer term look on the weekly or monthly chart. You can add an indicator or two if you want to. And here, just be aware that it's not going to save. So if you add an indicator, there's nothing wrong with that at all, but just be aware that when you leave the page and come back, the indicator is not coming back with you. So if you really like lots of indicators, just keep that in mind. Is all. There's also this little tool right here where we can prep out long or short trades. So since this is a bullish pullback into this old resistance zone, I'm going to, of course, go into the long position here. I'm not going to get too specific or crazy here, but I'll just say my entry is $14.14, since that's where my line is. I want to see this get above today's high by X amount. I've got a target price in mind up here, back at this kiss up here at 1650. I'd like to put my stop loss below yesterday's low. And, whether or not you like this trade, that's fine either way. This is more to illustrate the point. It'll let me know, based off of this, what my risk to reward is. For every dollar I'm risking, I have $2.42 in potential reward. You can get it set up to position size for you as well. If you go into its settings, you can say I'm willing to risk $100 on a trade, and so how many shares would I need to buy if you would like to do that. But it's a really handy tool to save you some time doing math, help visualize the trade. Maybe you feel like these guys are going to 20, right? Wow, that's a great risk reward of 6-1. Maybe you think that 16 is as far as you're comfortable trying to take this thing. Well, I can kind of see where your risk to reward is. That probably means you got to tighten up the stop loss. At least that's what it would mean for me, because I, like many traders, it's got to be at least 2-1. If I go below today's low instead of yesterday's, I could probably make that work. So you can really kind of put together the trade, see where what the math looks like. A handy little tool. You have, of course, that for both the bull and the bear side of things. Always a handy little tool. And of course, the video portion, talk you through this stuff. We'll also take an opportunity to teach a little bit in that as well. Again, we just want to make sure our team has some quality trade ideas going in each and every week, right? You don't have to like them. It's okay. You'll probably like some and not so much like others. That's really normal. You'll find the setups that you like and you'll put them in your own watch list, and the rest you'll just wish the best, right? That's how most of us do it, and that's nothing wrong with doing that. But it's never about the ones you don't like. It's, of course, about the ones that you do like, right? And we want to make sure our team, whether trading stock, options, commodities, all of the above, have some actionable ideas each and every week, so they don't have to spend a ton of time scanning the markets if they don't have time or don't have the desire to do so. Again, we'll get all of these delivered to you by Saturday afternoon, so you have plenty of time to go through them before the market opens back up. As we get wrapping up here, just a couple of other things. We do have our daily email in the form of the Tackle Today email. You can sign up for it directly in here. You can also read the Tackle Today directly on this page as well. It will be delivered faster to your inbox. Just a quick little morning email with a little bit of insight, as well as the upcoming schedule for the day and all the links and stuff. So pretty handy to have. You can sign up for it here, or you can read it on this page if you prefer to do that. You'll also find the Huddle podcast at the end of the week, just highlighting the top 10 stories of the week that was, just to make sure you didn't miss anything going on in the markets, right? Some people, follow it a lot more than others, and that's not really a wrong answer to that, right? Everybody's different. But the Huddle is a little, end of the week podcast, quick and to the point. Just what were the big stories, right? What were they, right? Not going to put a spin on them or anything like that. Just what were they, so we can make sure that we're on top of everything. We are active on all of the different social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. If you're using any of those platforms, certainly invite you to join us over here in our YouTube channel. We do a lot of live streams, right? We do the halftime report every market day. We do the Trade Masters webinar every Wednesday. Every couple of weeks, we're doing a special webinar, for our team. We also have a whole lot of, other content as well, a lot of walkthroughs, how-tos, what are Thinkorswim tutorials. And we're always thinking of new things that we can add. So certainly would appreciate a subscribe and hit and a notification bell. That does help us a lot within the YouTube side of things, and I hope it helps you, because if you're a YouTube user, you know how easy it is to get bogged down. So certainly do appreciate a subscription if you are open to doing so. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up here this evening. But I hope this gave you some ideas and some insight into who we are at Tackle Trading, what we're doing at Tackle Trading, where to find it, all of that fun stuff. I always tell folks, don't be afraid to build your own tackle trading. We do a lot of content here every week. And for some people, it can feel overwhelming. We don't expect you to be in everything. We welcome you and invite you to be in doing all the things that we're doing with us. But that's not our expectation by any means. You build your own tackle trading, right? If you're a brand new trader, you probably are going to use a little different than if somebody who's been trading for a decade. Right? If you're primarily a cash flow trader, you're probably naturally going to gravitate towards things like the options and the commodity report, to the cash flow club. It's not that you don't like the other things, right? But that just might be, what you gravitate towards. That's okay, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Don't be afraid to build your own tackle trading as you're along with us, and know that you've got a whole team behind you. You'll see the chats in our shows. You'll active Discord server, lots of ways to connect in the lounge and etc. So, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling lost, if you need some help, never hesitate. You got a whole team behind you. Everybody here wants to see each other succeed. I have no doubt about that. We have a great team Hopefully you are excited to be a part of it. Hope to see you here. Of course, if you're a new pro member, I'll absolutely be seeing you around for sure. And I look forward to getting to know you. If you're not a pro member, just checking us out, certainly appreciate you doing so as well. We do have a standing offer of a free 15-day trial. You'll find in the link to any of our YouTube videos. You'll also find it over in the store tab, or if you can't find it, send us an email. Tell them Frank sent you over at team@tackletraining.com. We can get you set up with a free trial so you can kind of see what's going on the back end and see if it's a good fit for you. That is, of course, an offer that is always on the table. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been my pleasure. I'll let you get out of here, but welcome to Tackle Trading. Thank you for your time. Have a great week, both in and out of the market, and I will see you hopefully not too far down the road.